G'day there guys, Marky here, and welcome back to another episode of r/relationship advice. Let's go. Am I the asshole for staying neutral in a situation between my son and my daughter and wife? This all started a couple of years ago, and it completely split our family apart. My son Z, 22 male, has pretty much been estranged from us since he was 18. Adam is the son of good family friends. He and my daughter P, 24 female, begun dating around when they were 19. The problem is Adam was a bully to my son throughout school, and as you can imagine, he didn't take it very well. He was furious. However, my daughter refused to budge on this. I tried to stay out of the situation, but my wife took my daughter's side, partially as we are good friends with Adam's parents, but also because she thought that Z would eventually get over it. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, and instead, it made a stark difference in my son's personality. He had become much more aggressive, cold, and disrespectful. He no longer listened to what me or his mother had to say, often using intimidation to get what he wanted. He would also disappear for days at a time without so much as a word. This would more or less carry on until he left for university, after which he probably spent no more than 2 weeks in total back at home, opting to stay with friends or whatever girl he was seeing at the time. He has rejected any olive branch that we extend. This has completely destroyed our family, and it especially hurts my wife, as they were quite close before this happened. The last time we spoke was last year before lockdown. He called me a coward for sitting on the fence. I understand why he feels the way he does, but was I really wrong to stay neutral in this? I didn't feel like it was my place to control my daughter's dating life. In the comments, "You're the asshole. Why did you two not help your son while he was being bullied? Why be friends with the bully's parents? You aren't neutral. You took the bully's side." Yeah, I'm baffled that OP thinks he's helping anyone by staying neutral. The entire family failed the son, and now they're seeing the consequences. You're the asshole. If I had them as parents, I too would have disowned them a long time ago. This reeks of missing reasons. As someone who is estranged from their family, it's not an easy choice and took years of build-up. There is no way that it was just because of his sister's boyfriend. Seeing your childhood bully for extended periods because your sister thinks it's totally fine to date him and that no one is on your side can alienate you to the point of going no contact. Not to mention, most of them don't stop it when they're dating a sibling of their victim. Yep, you're the asshole. So are your daughter and your wife, especially your daughter. I would never have dated someone who bullied my sibling. That is a betrayal of a huge magnitude, and the fact that your wife supported her horrible actions and you stayed out of it was also a betrayal to him. Your wife made it clear to her son that he is less valuable to her than his sister, so she has no right to feel hurt. You refusing to take part was tantamount to taking her side. You as a family excluded your son, and you left him with no support. Your son had every right to feel the way he did about this situation. He rejects your olive branches because they mean nothing. And now, onto the update. I wanted to upload this earlier, but I just got around to remembering what the password for this was. I did not plan on making an update. It was quite clear that we were in the wrong and we accept that. However, my son was informed of the original post by one of his cousins. He got in contact and he found it hilarious. My wife managed to convince him to meet up with us and talk. He insisted on me making an update with the takeaways from that conversation, so here goes. Regarding this post, his exact words were, "Big up the people who showed love, and all the people who called me petty can go F themselves." He said this with the biggest smile on his face. He also found it hilarious how, despite me trying to make him look bad, most of the replies were still ripping into me. I'm sure a lot of people are interested in how he's doing now. I'm safe to say that he has outgrown his abrasiveness and has become a very confident and intelligent young man. He is very secretive about what he's doing now, but one thing he is open and proud about is the charity that he runs. He happily went into detail about how he works with disadvantaged children and helps them get opportunities, particularly in sports. In regards to his sister and Adam, he seems completely indifferent to them. He said he wasn't particularly interested in talking about two losers who no one really likes. It was a long conversation, and we talked about a lot, but it seemed to end with my son letting us know that while there might be the slightest bit of contact between us, me and my wife will always be on the outside looking in on his life. While this isn't what me and my wife had hoped for, we are looking at it as a chance to eventually build our relationship back up. This was the main takeaway from everything that has happened, but I know there are probably a lot of questions that people want to ask, and I'll try my best to get around to answering all of them. In the comments, is it just me, or does it seem like OP still doesn't get it? The kid doesn't want much of anything to do with them, and that probably won't change. That's what happens when you alienate your child. OP is straight up deluded. His son was straight up mocking all of them, and he is too dense to see it. This is what gets me. That meetup was quite clearly an "I hear your decision really screwed the family up, look how good I'm doing without you" situation. You'll always be on the outside looking in, and of course, only wanting to talk about how he helps kids. Unlike you, Dad, being the implied part of all of that, laughing in his face the whole time. Man got disrespected fully and then posted to tell everyone. There is posting your L's, and then there is posting the entire Chicago subway system. I feel the dad, and probably mother, still think Z will overcome this bullying situation somehow. I don't think there is anything to win here for Z. Good that he's doing well for himself, though. Reminds me of Flanders' parents. "We tried nothing, and we're all out of ideas." My mother is like this. I haven't seen her in 12 years, and I have no interest to, and have made that clear. She is a narcissist, and my life is so much better without her. Sometimes she'll contact me like nothing has happened and want to chat and grab a coffee, and I'm like, what about this situation makes you think I want that? I understand people hoping that their kids get over it and they can rebuild, but at some point you need to realize that you screwed up beyond repair. My girlfriend of 3 years doesn't know that I know she's cheating, but she's about to. I, 21 female, have been dating my girlfriend, 22 female, for 3 years. I grew up in a really small town, so finding other women who liked women wasn't easy. We met at my college orientation because she was one of the group leaders showing us around. I saw her more and more as the weeks passed because we AITA'd at similar times and we eventually became friends. She always assumed I was straight because I have a very feminine style, and I'm sure others can relate to this misconception. But being friends didn't last long when we found out that we both liked women. The last 3 years have been great, or at least I thought they were. About 2 months ago, she started getting really cagey around her phone, which was a red flag to me. Before that, we were both open with our phones and frequently went on them for directions, to look things up, or to text our friends if our phone died. 2 weeks ago, I went through her phone when she was showering. Yes, I know, invasion of privacy. And it wasn't hard to find what I was looking for, but what angered me the most is that besides her cheating, she was making fun of me with the other girl. Both of them making remarks that looking like a bimbo would only get me so far. Which is funny, considering she constantly talks to me about how she loves my over-the-top femininity. I was honestly ready to explode right there, but instead, I took screenshots of their flirtatious text messages and I sent them to myself. Both of them are a part of an internship that, at least from my girlfriend's side, she's been working years to get into, in hopes of getting offered a full contract when her schooling is done. As most internships or even jobs are, relationships are strictly prohibited amongst co-workers and result in termination. So, the head of the program will be getting a very exciting email very soon. I also know her schedule like the back of my hand, so my friends and me are going to take back all the stuff that I bought for her and leave a box of the few things that she bought me with a print of the messages taped on top. Maybe not the coldest revenge in the world, but I hope she has fun sleeping in a bed with no sheets or a duvet. Also, have fun scrambling to buy the very expensive textbooks that I bought for you right before finals begin. In the comments, so she's a woman who likes other women, but makes fun of other women who act too much like women with other women. And OP replies, precisely. But also just wanted to add, wearing lots of pink and dressing like a bimbo doesn't define how feminine you are, ladies. You are still feminine no matter how you dress or look, and my bimbo ass will give you a smooch. Unless you don't want it. Good move. You should redo your nails after all that work. Girl gotta keep them neat. When my sister got a feeling and went through her ex-husband's phone, she found out he was cheating and crap-talking about her. I think the crap-talking hurt almost more than the cheating. She had no idea that he thought so poorly of her in their marriage. I'm sorry that she did this to you, and best of luck. My ex was making fun of me with her best friend. I always had a feeling that she was emotionally cheating on me with her BFF. It sucks. I'm glad you're getting out of it, and best of luck. And OP says, that's so evil. I'm sorry, BB. They suck, and you're hot. Back up to the post, we have an edit. Some of the comments are having me rethink sending stuff to her boss. It won't ruin her career, but perhaps it is too far. However, I do feel a lack of sympathy because of how the two of them have talked about me. If I do decide against it, I'm going to find something equally petty that doesn't involve her career. Most of the texts were spent brutally slut-shaming me and calling me a bimbo because of my appearance. The other girl going as far as asking my ex for special photos of me to see if I looked as plastic as she thinks I do, whatever that means. I haven't decided yet. All I know is I'm getting ready to go to a party with my friends. And also to all of my cuties, and I mean everyone, she's, he's, theys, whatever you go by out there, who have also been cheated on, you are super sexy, gorgeous, fabulous, sparkly hot, and cute, and they flop. Small update, I just took all of my stuff with my friends and left all of the items she got me in the box with the printouts of the text messages. I'm about to call her mom, who loves me very much, and tell her everything. I will probably update later on how that went. She probably won't find the box for a few hours, since she usually doesn't get home until around 5. Also, for those who are curious, no, I'm not going to take those textbooks back and just dump them. I'm going to sell them and donate the money to homeless and animal shelters. I'm also going to give the sheets and duvet to a homeless person. And now, on to the update. Hi all. I appreciate all the kind words you all left me. It definitely made this whole thing feel a lot less lonely. I'm finally in a space where I feel like I can update. So, as many of you know, I went through with taking all of my stuff back and leaving the things that she got me with printouts of all the messages between them. I also ended up dumping a ton of glitter on her naked mattress and basically the whole place. I then also called her mother, who I was very close with, and to say she was angry was an understatement. I left her number unblocked because I wanted to see her reaction if she had any at all. As expected, she had a total meltdown. She texted me 84 times begging me to come back to talk, apologizing, and saying she didn't mean it and was just trying to make the other girl feel less insecure. I was the most beautiful woman she's ever met, and she didn't want to lose me, saying she loved me and blah blah blah. It was honestly pathetic. She also called me a ton of times, but I didn't answer. I haven't listened to the voicemails either. She also thought that it was a great idea to wait for me outside of my 8 a.m. class with flowers, and I told her that if she did it again, I'd contact the university for harassment. I've been staying with my friend, and it's honestly been a lot better than I expected. I've been partying a lot over the weekend with my friends. Now, after posting my original post, I received a flood of comments which made me reconsider, and I had a hard time deciding if I wanted to email her internship. To make it short for the people who don't care that much, I did end up emailing the head of the program. Not because she cheated on me, but because the both of them were sending my nude photos between the two of them. I'm still deciding if I want to take legal action on a personal level, but with their line of work, I don't think their behavior is appropriate. Especially because the other woman's hateful nature towards specific types of women she deems worthless. I emailed the head of the program the extent of the issue, and however he decides to handle it is his choice. In the comments, non-consensual distribution of intimate images is something you should definitely look into with this. I know it might seem like a lot of legwork, but if you're looking to stick it to the other girl as well, it's an option. Not sure where you're located, but in my country the maximum sentence is 5 years. We need an update with what the head of the program says. And OP replies, I doubt the head of the program will let me know what they decide to do since I don't work for them. In most countries, it's covered by revenge porn laws, and you absolutely should report it to the police and/or get a lawyer in case she distributed them elsewhere. Quote, and saying she didn't mean it and was just trying to make the other girl feel less insecure. Right. For F's sake, what a pathetic excuse. The ex talked trash about OP and shared her nude pictures. Good for OP for moving on and leaving her in the dust. Not the dust, glitter. And that's way worse because even after months and months of cleaning up, there will still be an occasional sparkle on some random piece of furniture or in the corner of the floor, and it'll remind the ex of everything she did to the OP. Just a pet peeve, but the general attitude of femininity is bad is something I've encountered in a few sapphic spaces, and I effing hate it. Why the F do some folks need to spend time putting down others, especially other gays? It is not going to make anyone like you. Our next post is titled, "Dad left us and a decade later wants to reconcile because he has cancer. Am I wrong to be angry?" My dad left us and started a new family when I was 14. This had a profound impact on myself and my family. Life as a child of a single parent was hard, as you can imagine. The government benefits was hardly enough to support 3 kids. We lived below the poverty line. My mum became an alcoholic. I started working as soon as I legally could to help with the finances. I sacrificed my childhood so that there was electricity and gas in the house. I started failing at school and paid out of my own pocket to hire a tutor. I went to university locally, even though I had better offers elsewhere. I have a good and stable career now. My family lives with me, but I feel as though they are not respecting me. Recently, my dad got in touch with my younger sister through Facebook. She met up with him and brought him back to my home. He didn't apologize for the pain that he put me through. He made it all about himself and tried to gain sympathy with his plight. Am I the asshole for not caring and not wanting him in my life? I told him to leave. My mother and sister tried to defend him, and we got into an argument, and I threatened to evict my own family. We have not talked for days, and my home has become hostile. What should I do? In the comments, assholes are assholes. Assholes with cancer are still assholes. Assholes who die are still assholes. There is a tendency when people pass away or become sick for others to feel like they should overlook bad behavior or reconcile just because the person is going through a hard time, or we might not get another chance. No. If he wanted to reconcile, he should have done it before he needed something. He has cancer, and as with any other serious medical condition, there is a huge strain on both financial and emotional fronts. He only came back because he wants your help, probably with both of the above. He is not interested in reconciling for your sake, or even because he wants to make amends, because if that were the case, then he wouldn't have only been focusing on himself. He's back in your life because he wants something from you. Your mum and sister, and probably you as well, have been wishing your dad was a different person for the last 10 years. Now he's showing up and acting like that's the case, like he wants to be a part of their lives again, and like many people offer the thing that they dream and wish for, your mum and sis are willing to suspend their doubts and just go along with it. The reason they are so mad at you is because you are bursting the bubble of their dream with your refusal to ignore the reality of what your father has done. You can't force them not to have a relationship with him, but you can and should set boundaries for their house that you own and pay for. If you don't want him there, then they just have to visit with him elsewhere. You will respect their desire to see him, but they should also respect your desire not to see him. That is a perfectly reasonable compromise under the circumstances. Well, first of all, if you own the home, you get to decide who is allowed in. That aside, I think you are right to consider your dad selfish, and if you aren't willing to forgive him, then so be it. Just make sure that your decision is a logical one, not an emotional one, and try to prepare for when he is dead so you won't have any regrets. And now, on to the update. You guys are right. I can't force my family to accept my views of no contact with my father. I resent this man so much, I can't stand the sight of him. After I posted yesterday, I was invited to have dinner with my family. To no one's surprise, my dad and his new family were there. I picked out the 2 most expensive dishes on the menu, and we had a chat. I heard his thoughts on the matter of being an absent father, but I didn't bring up any of our hardships. My mother and sister made more attempts to make me forgive him. I did. I forgave him, but that doesn't mean that I need to have a relationship with him anymore. Again, my family protested that I'm being cruel and heartless, but I'm not. Many people survive cancer, and his lung cancer is in the early stages. I told them that I would not be present at any family events if he was there. My sister shouted at me, claiming, "He's our dad, you asshole!" Well, yes, he is. to which I replied that he needs to take over his responsibilities as a father. I told them that I had cancelled the tenancy on the house and we need to move out by the end of this month. My sister needs to return the iPhones that are on contract as I am cancelling those. Driving lessons will be cancelled, gym membership will be cancelled, subscription services will be cancelled, and everything else that I pay for. Those are Dad's responsibilities now. I ate my dinner and left them with the bill as a little act of petty revenge. I have been staying with my girlfriend and have not answered any texts and calls from them. I need a break. I'm done. I'm done taking over Dad's role. I'm done with the financial responsibilities or acting as the parent. I'm 25 and I need to live my own life now. I don't think this will burn bridges. It's just a wake-up call for them. And edit, I'm not going to ghost or abandon them. They need to become independent now. And I'm reading all the comments. I know I've acted like a jerk. I just need some time to collect my thoughts. I might update later. In the comments, I have so much respect for you. I can understand all too well the pain of having a parent abandon you. And I can't imagine the added pain of your mother turning to alcohol, only adding to the financial burden. It's harsh, but you have worked hard to support your mother and sibling when it is not your responsibility. If he wants the title and respect back, then he can step up to the plate and fill the father role completely. F him. It sounds like he's only come back because he was diagnosed with cancer. And OP replies, "It should never have been my responsibility. I didn't work out of love for my family or some sort of charity, it was out of desperation. We were so close to being put into the foster care system. Our lives would have turned out so much worse." You're a champ, bro. It's easy for them to say crap because seems like you took care of them. Proud to be the same species as you, man. It is so easy for them to go, "It wasn't so bad." It wasn't so bad because you took on the role of parent and pseudo-husband to your family. Man. The fact that you did everything for them and they're still treating you like a POS shows what entitled assholes they are. Legit, dude, kudos. You bloody raised a family before you were 25. Most adults couldn't even take on that responsibility. Your family are ready to forgive him because they didn't do crap to make up the slack. You did. Your mother could have done it instead of spending your money on booze. I'm glad you're taking no crap from your ungrateful family and bailed. They didn't know how good they had it with their free iPhones. What ungrateful shits. Your mother can make a claim for back child support now that she knows where your dad lives. You might want to call a lawyer. It does not matter that he has cancer, the money is owed. And OP replies, "It doesn't really matter. That's her choice. It's too late for the child support payments to be of any use. He's not well off and he can barely sustain his new family. My wife is 30. Her mom just started getting paid for over a decade of back-due child support plus interest. Finally was able to stick her deadbeat bio father with the bill. My mother-in-law has just been giving the child support money directly to her kids since the money wasn't around to help them as a kid. Now it's helping them as adults. It could be worth the consideration. This guy's probably going to be drowning in medical debt though. You can't squeeze blood out of a stone. Well, maybe he's got a nice life insurance policy that will cover it when he kicks the bucket." And that's where I'm going to leave today's episode, guys. I do hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.